Fox's Anita Vogel. America's listening to Fox News.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Breathe out and repeat after me. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Your bird is eating my candles.
Your bird is eating my candles.
No, seriously, he's making a mess.
No, seriously, he's...
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
When was the last time you read the Constitution? Specifically Article 1, Section 2. The Founding Fathers thought it was critical to count the population every 10 years so that congressional representation would be based on facts. And it also helps inform how billions in funding are spent every year. The census is our opportunity to be heard. And if you think about it, our civic duty.
Shape your future. Start here. Complete the census at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
What's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper? Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
And now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Nice today with plenty of sunshine, high 82 to 85. For tonight, mainly clear, low 59. Tomorrow, increasing cloudiness, high 81 to 84. Tomorrow night, cloudy, a shower in spots, followed by rain late, low 63. Sunday, turning out partly sunny, high 79 to 83. Monday, plenty of sunshine, high 84 to 87. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
And a good morning to you all. Welcome to the Conservative Watch Hour here on WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM. I'm here with my host, Ann Vandersteel. Ann, how are you this morning? Hello?
There.
Yeah, good morning.
Ann? Okay.
She's there.
And good morning.
She's there. Well, talk. Somebody talk here. You're live there, and everybody sees you. Hey, Annie, you're live on the air right now on WOCA with the conservative. Yeah, they can hear you. Watch you fix your hat and check you out and everything there. I don't know where Annie is. She was here momentarily, but I don't know if she's back or not. The phone lines say that she is on, unless, thank you, sir, unless she decided she's going to be incognito.
She's probably just having a little technical difficulties.
I don't know.
But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. We're moving right along.
Well, the phone says she's here, so I don't know.
Okay, well, she'll get on, you know. That's one thing that I have noticed. We've been having a lot of technical difficulties.
With the phone lines, yeah, well.
And not only the phone, the computers, the social media, you know, the Facebook things, taking down conservative sites, all kinds of stuff. I lost my picture.
Oh, well, yeah, not available. What'd you do? I don't know, what did I do? Let's see here. Well, we will continue on anyway, live on WOC. We are live going over the airwaves, so we're having a little trouble with YouTube at the moment. So we're going to see if we got to just continue on, Annie. We don't like dead air.
All right. Absolutely, we don't like that air. So I'll tell you, today we have a lot of things going on. And certainly, stay calm. We shall get through this. This shall pass. And we can feel confident in knowing that we have the magnificent President Donald J. Trump to be able to continue to lead this nation along with the coronavirus task force headed up by Vice President Pence, and they are doing a magnificent job. And we are going to talk about a couple of different topics today. We have two different guests coming in. And Dr. Shiva is a gentleman that I met quite some time ago. And this gentleman has 4 different masters. He is a wealth of knowledge that is going to be talking to us in regards to the coronavirus. And in addition to that, in our second half hour, we're going to have Florida House Representative Mike Hill on to talk about what's going on here in the state of Florida and some of the challenges that we're all meeting and certainly getting past and moving forward.
Oh, here we are.
And hey, Miss Ann, I heard you. You there now?
We are here. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened, Annie, but we were able to reconnect. I have Dr. Shiva with us this morning, and I heard you making the intro before the conference line went sideways, but we're back.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Shiva, it's so nice to have you here with us today. Welcome, my dear friend. It's been some time. I think the first time I met you was way back in 2016 up in Pennsylvania when we had the the Great American Candidates. Yes, indeed. Nice to have you with us here today, sir. God bless you and your family.
Good to be here.
Yes, indeed. Well, Miss Ann, let's talk about some of the things that certainly, we're so honored and blessed to have you, sir, here with us. Your wealth and your knowledge is just, off the charts. And when I see all of your qualifications, it just really brings us the information that people can rely upon. And everyone right now, certainly, our message is to stay calm. This too shall pass. But people do need information and a sense of comfort. So, Ann, if you'd be so kind, why don't we go into some of the things that we'd like Dr. Shiva to discuss with us today?
Oh, great. Yeah, so fortunately, Dr. Shiva and I had a conversation earlier before we got on the air. We were sort of aligning information and where we're coming from. And there are some I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, but there's some information out there that seems to be running contrary to some of the facts. And we have to start looking back at the facts of what is really the cause, what is the reason that we're seeing this pandemic outbreak. Is it really a true pandemic in the sense of as many people as we seem to be prepared for going to be affected as to what we've been broadcast? Hang on one second. I think we lost Dr. Shiva. I'm sorry. 1 second.
Okay, no problem. And so we'll continue on. As I said, these technical difficulties have been happening in many different ways, and we will get past that.
Okay, Annie, we're back.
Okay, fantastic.
But we have a technical problem. We're hearing massive echo coming back in from the studio, and it's rather disconcerting. Is there a way we can maybe address that?
I hear it as well. We're trying to get that rectified, my dear.
Annie, no worries. It's not going on the airwaves. You're just hearing it back at your end. But the listeners here at WOCA and throughout the world are just hearing you normal, Ann.
All right.
All right, well, if there's a way to somehow mitigate that just from us, it's a little bit distracting when you're talking. So if I sound a little sideways, it's because I'm hearing self-feedback. But anyway, we'll forge on. So Dr. Keith and I were talking about the real culprit here is big pharmaceuticals, their desire to derail the movement of people that are waking up to the fact that vaccines aren't the be-all, end-all. And Dr. Shiva has laid out a very good case with respect to the industrialization and the infrastructure improvements that were made in this country back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, which really is what led to the eradication of mass outbreaks of things like measles and other diseases. And it wasn't just the vaccines. So there is obviously a big push with the Gates Foundation and others to see this particular pandemic we are suffering from right now solved with a vaccine. But meanwhile, the president has been pushing the malaria medication, which seems to have 100% efficacy in all of the tests we're seeing done around the world. So why is it that Dr. Fauci was not immediately on board with that? Why is it the pharmaceutical companies are rushing to get a vaccine out when you have a solution to it right here, right now? So this is, somewhat of the discussion. I wanted to turn it over to Dr. Shiva and see if he can take it up from here while you all work on the echo effect.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Can you hear me okay?
Annie? Ann?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Dr. Shiva.
We're not on, right?
We are on live, correct.
Okay, it's so hard with the echo.
I apologize for that. We're having some technical difficulties, but it's been happening to us for pretty much every radio show and every conference that we've been doing. And not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can. So we're live now?
Yes, we are. And were you able to hear?
All right, so...
Okay. Welcome.
I'll try to do my best.
Okay, my dear.
Putting up with the echo. But here's the bottom line. We have 380 trillion viruses in our body. There are, we're in a flu season. And the people who are being admitted into hospitals and the fatalities that are taking place, at least, 95% of them have had pre-existing conditions. They have comorbidities, and their immune systems are suppressed. So we need to put all of this in context, because if you really look at the broad U.S. population, there's been a history over the last, 50 years, since Fauci's been in office, for example. We've seen the lowest longevity rates in the Western world among Americans. So we have the lowest longevity rate, and we have the highest infant mortality rate in the Western world. So if we want to step back, the lack of infrastructure in this country, the dirty air, the dirty water, the dirty food, the way that we have not been really educating people on how to protect people's immune health has resulted in the Western world in one of the unhealthiest populations in the United States. And what I mean by that is that people's immune systems have been compromised.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put that in that context, you start recognizing that if public health officials truly cared about public health, then what we would be focused on is how do you boost people's immune health. And the opportunity with everything that's going on is to really recognize that we as people who care about everyone, even the minority who are immunocompromised, we're the ones who are really being affected by this virus, or be it H1N1 or any flu virus. What are we doing to support immune health? And you won't hear one word coming out of Fauci about that, or anyone, advising the president. No one's talking about vitamin D. No one's talking about vitamin A. No one's talking about giving people IV vitamin C or in critical care. And the fact that no one's talking about any of that, I find it frankly
disturbing,
reprehensible, and somewhat criminal. Because if you really want to take care of public health, whether it's this virus or another virus, you would be immediately supporting a broad set of people, be it the healthy people, the immunocompromised, and the people in critical care, what they should do. But none of that's coming out. What we are hearing is wait for the vaccine, quarantine, wait for the vaccine, flatten the curve. What does flatten the curve really mean? Flatten the curve really means kick the can down the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not talking about, it's basically saying I'm going to kick the can down the street, and at some point a solution is going to come. And the reason we want to quote-unquote flatten the curve is we don't want to overwhelm the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not addressing the fundamental issue of what happens 6 months from now, what happens next year. And the horizon that I see is to use a crisis like this to mandate vaccines for everyone at even the cost of our civil liberties and our freedom. That's where the trajectory is headed. It's not about immune health. It's about supporting Big Pharma's agenda. And it's completely putting this thing into a fear-mongering state by forgetting that most, like in Italy, the median age of people who were dying was 80 years old. I have a number of people I've known who were smokers, who had COPD issues, who already had problems. They went in and they got diagnosed with COVID. For years they've had issues. For years they were going in and out of hospital. But you know what the narrative will be? Oh, that person died of COVID. And this is cooking the books that's going on. You have a lot of people who already have pre-existing conditions, whose issues were never really addressed by the medical healthcare system. And instead of recognizing that, we're taking all those people, and when they have a fatality they're going to be categorized as COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's cooking the books, and then that cooking the books helps support the narrative of, viruses kill people. We need to mandate vaccines and the fear-mongering model. That's one prong of this effect. The other prong of this is to devastate the economy by taking all the healthy people and not telling them, look, you can take vitamin D, you can take vitamin A, you can support your systems, and you can actually start working. Instead of that, there is a lack of support for people's immune systems, immune health. That's not even on the table. And you also devastate the economic health of the entire country. In order to, and this is a compassionate model, not that all Americans are very compassionate, we want to protect this set of people who are immunocompromised. That's where this is coming from. It's coming from an argument of the immunocompromised need to be protected. Therefore, the rest of us and the entire economic health must suffer. Now, just to put this in context, we have about 600,000 people die of heart disease every year in the United States. 600,000. About 570,000 people die of cancer every year. About 440,000 people die from medical errors after they go into the hospital. 200,000 people die from prescription drugs. And of that 1.9 million people, or from that 1.9 people are hospitalized from adverse reactions to prescription drugs. I haven't seen a state of emergency be called for that and shutting down the entire U.S. economy. But what we are seeing is for 6,000 deaths, I think that's what the number is right now. And even if you extrapolate this, let's say, accepting the Spanish flu, because it was an anomaly, we can talk about that, but typically 15% get infected in a pandemic, and 0.3% of the people who died. 15%. So if you double that, so let's say 30% of the U.S. population gets infected, which would be 90 million people, roughly, and let's say you double the fatality rate to 0.6%. That would mean 540,000 people, which is about the number of people that die from heart disease. So that's perhaps the worst case, right?
Yes.
But even in the case of heart disease, we don't shut down the entire country.
No, exactly. You've made some very, very good points here, and I can tell you that I have been encouraging people to absolutely, I always encourage this, to take your probiotics, 50 billion parts, and certainly vitamin A, zinc, and D, get sunlight, things like that have been proven and shown. And it is astonishing that, the route that they're taking, and certainly I do question the fact that Dr. Fauci...
Annie, this is worse. This is worse than that. This is Fauci's second rodeo, okay?
Oh, yeah.
His first rodeo was HIV and AIDS, okay? HIV, there's no causal relationship scientifically shown between HIV and AIDS. What I mean by that is, in biology, there's a set of postulates called Koch's postulate, which means in order to show causality, it has to fulfill Koch's postulate. HIV causing AIDS doesn't fulfill any of it. In fact, Fauci's buddy, Robert Gallo, was brought up on misconduct charges, and he was going to be completely thrown out of the scientific community, and Fauci came to his rescue. And the agreement, as I understand from some close people in the scientific community, it was decided They dismissed the charges on Gallo, and said, and as a part of that, Fauci became the lead, and he built his entire career on the fake science of HIV being causative to AIDS. It's not true. AIDS is your immune system is suppressed. Many things can cause that.
Right. Right.
So Fauci is that this is his second rodeo, or at least his second rodeo, creating a boogeyman, creating a pandemic, and using that to generate billions of dollars for Big Pharma. And Big Pharma is losing money. They're not making money from pharmaceutical drugs because they don't work, because of the lawsuits. So their next horizon is vaccines, vaccines, vaccines.
Exactly.
And that's what this play is. And vaccines cannot be, you can't sue the manufacturers. You got to go to vaccine court, which is in the U.S. government. It's a total sham that was created in '86 by Ted Kennedy and a bunch of other cohorts. Mm-hmm. So what we've done is we've essentially created a amazing market opportunity for Big Pharma, which is you can create a product called vaccine, you can never be sued, and you don't have to follow the same regulatory process. So Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, so the Gates Foundation, the Chan Zuckerberg Foundation, the Clinton Global